Sign number 1. Unusual fatigue that lingers. Let's start with something many of us have felt at some point: fatigue. Now, I'm not talking about that sleepy feeling after a big Thanksgiving dinner or a long day of gardening. This is a different kind of tiredness, one that seems to stick around even when you've had a good night's sleep. It's the kind where you wake up feeling like you haven't rested at all, or you find yourself needing to sit down after simple tasks like carrying groceries or walking to the mailbox. Why does this happen? As we age, our heart has to work a little harder to pump blood efficiently. If it's struggling, maybe because of narrowed arteries or weakened muscles, it can't deliver oxygen as well as it used to. That lack of oxygen can leave you feeling drained, even if you're not doing anything strenuous. I remember a dear friend of mine, Susan, who's 62. She told me she started feeling heavy all the time, like her energy was just gone. She thought it was just aging, but when she mentioned it to her doctor, they found her heart wasn't pumping as strongly as it should. A few lifestyle changes and some medication made a world of difference for her. Here's what to watch for. If you're feeling unusually tired for days or weeks, especially if it's paired with other symptoms we'll talk about, don't just chalk it up to, "I'm getting older." Ask yourself, is this fatigue? Is it new for you, or is it a pattern? Maybe it's worse after certain activities, like climbing stairs or even light chores. Keep a little journal for a few days to track when you feel this way. It could be a clue worth sharing with your doctor. What can you do about it? First, don't ignore it. Make an appointment to discuss this with your healthcare provider. They might suggest tests like an EKG or a stress test to check your heart's function. In the meantime, try to pace yourself. Break tasks into smaller chunks and don't push through exhaustion. Gentle movement, like a short walk or stretching, can actually help boost your energy without overtaxing your heart. And of course, focus on heart-healthy habits. More on those later. Sign number 2, shortness of breath, even at rest. Next up, let's talk about shortness of breath. Now, we've all been winded after running to catch a bus or chasing after a grandkid, but this is different. This is when you feel like you can't catch your breath even when you're sitting still, or you get winded doing things that never used to bother you, like making the bed or walking across the room. I had a neighbor, Tom, who's 67, and he noticed he was huffing and puffing just tying his shoes. He laughed it off at first, saying, "I'm just out of shape." But his wife insisted he get it checked. Turns out, his heart wasn't pumping efficiently, causing fluid to build up in his lungs, a common issue with heart problems. With some treatment, he's back to his morning walks and feeling so much better. This sign is sneaky because it can creep up slowly. You might not even realize how much harder you're breathing until someone points it out. It's also easy to blame it on other things like asthma or allergies. But if you're over 60, shortness of breath is something to take seriously, especially if it's new or worsening. What to do? Start by noticing when it happens. Does it wake you up at night? Does it come on suddenly or gradually? Write down these details for your doctor. In the meantime, avoid lying flat if breathing feels harder. Prop yourself up with pillows. And please, if you're a smoker, consider this a loving nudge to work on quitting. Smoking is so hard on your heart and lungs, and cutting back can make a big difference. Sign number 3, swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet. Have you ever noticed your ankles looking a little puffy? Or maybe your shoes feel tighter than usual? Swelling or edema in your legs, ankles, or feet can be a sign your heart isn't pumping as well as it should. When your heart struggles, blood can back up, causing fluid to pool in your lower body. I remember chatting with my friend Linda, who's 64, at a community picnic. She mentioned her socks were leaving marks on her ankles, and she thought it was just from sitting too long. But when the swelling didn't go away, her doctor found it was linked to her heart. With some medication and dietary tweaks, she's managing it beautifully now. Here's the key: a little swelling after a long flight or a salty meal is normal. But if it's persistent, gets worse over time, or you notice your skin looks shiny or feels tight, it's time to pay attention. Press gently on the swollen area. If it leaves a dent that stays for a few seconds, that's a sign to mention to your doctor. What can you do? Elevate your legs when you're sitting. Prop them up on a stool or pillows. Avoid tight clothing that restricts blood flow, and cut back on salt, which can make swelling worse. Most importantly, don't wait. talk to your doctor. They might check for heart issues or other causes, like kidney or vein problems. Sign number 4, chest discomfort that's not quite pain. When we think of heart problems, we often picture clutching our chest in agony. But the truth is, heart issues don't always feel like dramatic pain. Sometimes it's more like discomfort, a heaviness, pressure, or squeezing in your chest. It might feel like indigestion, or even a vague ache that comes and goes. My Uncle Joe, who's 70, used to joke about his heartburn after big meals. But one day, he noticed that heavy feeling in his chest even when he hadn't eaten. Thank goodness he mentioned it to his doctor, because it was a warning sign of a heart issue. With some changes to his lifestyle and a stent, he's doing great now. This discomfort might spread to your arms, back, neck, or jaw. It could happen during activity or even when you're resting. For women especially, these symptoms can be subtle, so don't brush them off as just stress. What to do? If you feel this kind of discomfort, especially if it's new or different, don't wait. Call your doctor, or if it's severe or paired with nausea, sweating, or dizziness, call 911. Better safe than sorry. In the meantime, try to stay calm and avoid overexerting yourself. Sign number 5, irregular heartbeat or palpitations. Ever feel like your heart is fluttering, racing, or skipping a beat? That's what we call palpitations, and while they're often harmless, like after too much coffee, they can sometimes signal a heart problem, especially after 60. An irregular heartbeat, or arrhythmia, can mean your heart's electrical system isn't working quite right. I had a client, Margaret, who's 66, and she described her heart doing a little dance now and then. She thought it was anxiety, but her doctor found she had atrial fibrillation, a common arrhythmia in older adults. With medication, she's keeping it under control and feeling more confident. Palpitations might feel like a thud, a flip-flop, or a racing pulse. They could last a second or go on for minutes. If they're frequent, or you feel lightheaded or faint, it's time to check in with your doctor. What can you do? Keep track of when palpitations happen. Are they after certain foods, stress, or exercise? Avoid triggers like caffeine or alcohol if you notice a pattern. And definitely talk to your doctor. They might suggest a monitor to track your heart's rhythm. Sign number 6, dizziness or lightheadedness. Last but not least, let's talk about dizziness or feeling lightheaded. If you stand up and the room spins, or you feel like you might faint, your heart might not be getting enough blood to your brain. This could be due to low blood pressure, an irregular heartbeat, or a weakened heart. My friend Robert, who's 68, started feeling woozy when he got out of bed in the morning. He thought it was just dehydration, but his doctor found his heart wasn't pumping strongly enough. With some adjustments to his meds, he's steadier on his feet now. This sign is tricky because it can have many causes: medications, dehydration, or even inner ear issues. But if it's frequent, especially with other symptoms like fatigue or shortness of breath, it's worth investigating. What can you do? Stand up slowly to avoid sudden drops in blood pressure. Stay hydrated and avoid skipping meals, which can affect your blood sugar. If dizziness persists or you nearly faint, see your doctor. They might check your heart and blood pressure. Now that we've covered these 6 signs, let's talk about how to keep your heart strong. Think of your heart as a lifelong friend. Treat it with care, and it'll stick by you. Here are some simple, practical tips. Eat for your heart. Focus on fruits, veggies, whole grains, and lean proteins. Think Mediterranean style, olive oil, fish, nuts, and plenty of color on your plate. Cut back on processed foods, sugary drinks, and too much salt. Move your body. Aim for 30 minutes of gentle activity most days. Walking, swimming, or yoga are fantastic. Even dancing in your living room counts. Start slow if you're out of practice, and check with your doctor first. Manage stress. Chronic stress is tough on your heart. Try deep breathing, meditation, or a hobby you love. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference. Sleep well. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. If snoring or waking up gasping is an issue, talk to your doctor about sleep apnea. It's linked to heart problems. Stay connected. Loneliness can hurt your heart too. Call a friend, join a club, or volunteer. Your heart loves those warm fuzzies from community. Check your numbers. Keep tabs on your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Regular checkups catch issues early. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next one. Stay well, stay inspired, and see you next time.